I wish I could tell you when we're gonna open, but I can't. Zero. Zero. This was my first time unloading flooring into a building. But we have failure doesn't, if we fail, that doesn't scare me. I'm not afraid to fail. We're not afraid to fail. Smarter people have come along and failed. That doesn't faze me. It motivates us. But there's risks. There's risks in everything you're going to do. But we're just at a point in our lives where we can take this risk. I've always wanted to be to kind of do my own thing. How I was going to get to that, I was always unsure of. To own a restaurant, I'd say it's been probably 3-4 years. Ever since my best friend in Edmonton opened up the Greenhouse Salad, where I thought this is feasible. We don't know, right? I've never said that just because I've worked in a restaurant doesn't mean I can run a restaurant, right? And like I've alluded to you, there's no guarantee it's going to be a success.
Do you ever want to do it?
No. And it's I've done it a few times, and I know when people say it sounds like I'm lazy or I don't like the structure. I just mainly I never found a job that I was passionate about for the 8 to 5. For me personally, I've been in the industry for 7 odd years, so it's something I'm comfortable with. It's an exciting venture, right? This just seemed the most logical and at the time the most feasible option. And then the name had a lot to do with it. You know, when we chose the lobby, like, man, if it's the lobby, it's first of all, we love the name. It's a super cool name. It's a gathering place, right? Everyone's getting together. Like,
Started as a coffee shop, as I mentioned, the concept of the lobby. It grew to becoming kind of a fusion of a pub and a lounge. You know what? With this risk, I think it was a little different. I went more on emotion on this one, and I can admit that. And like I said, a lot of the reason is because I could see the passion that Kashmir brought to the table on this. And I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't. I never ever thought about not opening up a restaurant or anything like that, because I think everyone kind of toys with the idea of how the romance aspect of opening up like a restaurant or a bar, right?
We've always had a time-sensitive issue with the makeup air unit, which is for the kitchen, and that was always coming at the end of February, and that's about a week behind. So that puts us into, say, the second week of March. Essentially, it's for the ventilation in the kitchen, right? Without that, there's no ventilation in the kitchen, and you can't use any of your deep fryer, your broiler, your range. So without that, we can't operate the kitchen. So it's crucial. So we can have the equipment in place, right? But we actually can't operate it. So without that, we really can't move forward.
It's always nice to be approached about a new place, and so I was really excited just right away off the top, just to kind of get into a new place with friends and kind of be able to have my own kind of kitchen as well. Coming from a culinary school, you always kind of have your own aspirations to kind of do something with your diploma. So that was really exciting. But so really, my culinary started when I was 14 as a dishwasher at Bonanza, and here I am now, kind of been off and on the kind of culinary world, or this industry, been off and on since I was 14, and now this will be the next chapter in my culinary life, I guess. Yeah, it's a big step for me. I've never had a head chef job. I have kind of been a sous chef for a period of time, so there is some responsibility with that, but not nearly as much as for the head chef. But through trial and error, and I'm a quick learner, so I really see it being tough at the start, but it is never meant to be easy. So.
First issue was the walk-in cooler came in. It fit perfectly into the space. However, one door doesn't open because there's a beam in the way. So technically it's my fault. As you can see, there's a big dent in this. It was, this happened en route here. The delivery must have smashed up somehow, so we can either get a replacement or we can leave it as is and get a credit.
and we're gonna get a credit.
Okay, go tonight.
Not so well. It was expected. There was a few issues with the pressure, I think. And the dish pit that I alluded to are both being looked at by the plumbing inspector to make sure they were done to code. It appears to be someone may have missed something along the way. The way the blueprints are laid out isn't the way the building is actually done. So the construction company, in layman's terms, drilled a hole where they thought there'd be space behind the wall, but there wasn't. Even when when times were rough and we had trouble securing a bank loan, my mom and dad were always, "Don't worry, it's going to work out. It's going to work out." And they'd support me whatever I did. If I went home and told my mom, "Hey mom, I think I want to be an astronaut. I'm 31 years old, mom. I want to be an astronaut." She'd be like, "Okay, all right, let's do this." I'm sure they shed a few tears after I left, and they'd be like, "What's he doing? It's time for him to grow up." But they've been amazing. I come from there, and I can tell they're kind of getting a bit more excited. They have yet to visit the spot. They don't want to. They want to come when everything's done, because we have not a history. We're always reluctant to. We want to wait till it's actually done, just in case. We got a history. Some things that just haven't worked out. I've been off to a few different schools, and I think my parents were super excited. But then, I would, to my fault, run into some academic issues, and that dream would be set back. And I think, and they're disappointed when I'm disappointed and I'm hurt. They feel it probably more than I do. I'm going to wait and take them into the spot, mom, dad, and sister, and they can kind of just.
Make a bear unit. Well, it was supposed to be here on Friday. It's not here yet. We're hoping that it comes sometime this week. Basically, that's a huge holdup. Without that, we can't be open. And at this point, we're just crossing our fingers.
Because one of the primary reasons, if not the only reason, I think that we're over budget is because our opening date has been delayed by over 2 months now. If we would have been able to hit those targets, I think we would be fine. But being 2 months overdue from our start date has really, really impacted our budget quite a bit. So.
No, because the friendship has kind of evolved. We probably started out as friends, business partners, and now we've become best friends.
Approach him to start business.
Yeah, he has more of the business savvy, so to speak. He did a financing degree at U of R. He's a numbers guy. He's a spreadsheet, Excel. He's fascinated by all that stuff. He likes projections. So that's one facet where I knew for sure Alvaro would be a great partner for. No, he was the only person I approached.
Why?
Menu is going to be a kind of a melting pot of flavors from all over the world. Hope to have obviously American flavors with burgers and stuff like that, the poutine, and we'll have dishes from India, from Asia, from Africa, from Europe, from South America. It's really just a melting pot of flavor, but the most important part is to kind of just do things fresh. And
What makes you think you can run a restaurant?
I don't know. I don't even know if I can, to be honest. There's been lots of times when I've gone to him and during this process, and I'm like, am I in over my head? Like, can I do this? And he's always there to just reinforce me and be like, yeah, we're gonna be fine. And so.
Well, yesterday afternoon, we got some news. Representative from our landlord came by, sat down, and essentially just gave his phone over to Kashmir to read an email. At that point, I knew it wasn't going to be great news, and we found out that the Make a Bear unit isn't coming till in and around March 24th. So when we were expecting it to be here at the end of February. However, we are still planning on doing our appreciation night on March 21st. We're still going to go ahead with that. Our other biggest concern now without that Make a Bear unit is how we're going to be able to test our menu items without having the entire commercial kitchen ready to go. We need to test that out. That's our bread and butter there, so that's a concern for us.
What was that
was scary. And to be honest, I, g- I had a good position where I was working at the time. And coincidentally, I had a promotion offered to me at that time as well. And I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't, hesitant to drop everything with the lobby and continue on that path.
The front of the house staff is a bit more secure. A lot of them have other jobs. Some of them are in school, so they're okay. They've been asking us a lot of questions, but it's been relatively okay. But when we open the doors, it's in your guys' hands, right? You're the first person you're going to see. They're going to interact with you. We will have no part of that, right? So we're putting a lot of trust in you guys. We trust you. We wouldn't hire you if we didn't. So it's just ironic. So we just want to make sure you guys, get that message that it's a lot of responsibility falls into your hands. Because my parents have done everything they can to make sure that I had everything and anything I wanted. And I think they understood how passionate I was about this and how much this meant to me. And I think they just didn't want to have to, share in the disappointment with me if something along the way went and we couldn't get to the finish line.
No, I don't think I can. I don't think I could go back for a 9-to-5 job. I don't know if I'd want to. Yeah, I would take this risk over 9 to 5 all over again if I had to.
Most exciting part is just kind of giving people food kind of through my eyes. Only thing I can ask for is just clean plates coming back to the dish pit instead of full plates of food and stuff like that. So most exciting stuff is still to come, and I hope it just every day can elevate and become successful.
I want to be able to look at Cash and see the excitement in his face. I know throughout this whole process, he takes a lot on, and I appreciate all the work he's done.
And it just it brings a great deal of joy and just to know that you set yourself a goal, right? And how big that goal was when you thought about it was, well, that's monumental, and how are we going to do this? And to get to that goal, it's a feeling that I've really probably never experienced before in this magnitude.
We'd have dinner around 8 o'clock. Plan to start our night there. Lights dim around 9:30. DJ comes out, music's going. We're having a few drinks with our friends, and it becomes a great evening. And we stay there. That's kind of the place that I envisioned, and he did as well. And that's where the whole concept of the lobby came in.
I don't know if there is ever a drop dead day. Okay, we're done. I don't know if that ever happens. If we can sit there and be like, have 10 minutes, say, okay, wow, we're all done. I don't know if that moment will ever come. Like I alluded to before, I'm sure at that appreciation night, myself and Alvaro will take a few minutes and be like, you know what, man, we did it. And I think that'll be great, but only for a few minutes, because I just know there's gonna be more hurdles down the road. There's a lot of other things we want to accomplish. This is just one thing.